Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you some essential Istanbul travel tips that you need to know before visiting this amazing city. Istanbul, with its magnificent history dating back to 3000 BC, is a city that was the capital of the former Eastern Roman and Ottoman empires, a common cluster of different cultures. Formerly Constantinople, Istanbul is one of my favorite destinations in the world and I've been there several times, so I have some insider tips and tricks to help you make the most of your trip. So without further ado, let's get started. Tip number 1. You need at least 3 or 4 days in Istanbul. Istanbul is a huge city with so many things to do and see, from historical monuments to modern attractions, from vibrant markets to trendy cafes. You don't want to rush through this city and miss out on its beauty and charm. So I recommend spending at least 3 or 4 days in Istanbul to hit all the main tourist spots and also explore some off-the-beaten-path places. Tip number 2. Book your hotel in advance. Istanbul is a very popular destination, especially during the peak season from June to August, so hotels tend to sell out fast and get more expensive as the date approaches. To avoid disappointment and save money, I suggest booking your hotel as early as possible. You can use booking.com to find the best deals and reviews, but make sure you do it before you land in Turkey because booking.com is banned in Turkey. You can still access the website to manage your bookings, but you can't book a Turkish hotel while you're in Turkey. Tip number 3. Stay outside of Sultanahmet if you want a quiet night's sleep. Sultanahmet is the most convenient place to stay in Istanbul because it's where all the main attractions are located, such as the Blue Mosque, Hagia Sophia, Topkapi Palace, and more. However, it can also be very noisy at night because of the traffic, the crowds, and the call to prayer that starts at dawn. If you're looking for a more peaceful and relaxing stay, I recommend staying in Beyoğlu, which is across the Galata Bridge from Sultanahmet. Beyoğlu is a more modern and lively area with lots of restaurants, bars, shops, and nightlife options. Tip number 4. Get the Istanbul Museum Pass. If you're planning to visit a lot of museums in Istanbul, which you should because they're amazing, then you should definitely get the Istanbul Museum Pass. It costs about 700 TLs and it gives you access to 10 museums in Istanbul for 5 consecutive days. Some of the museums included are the Galata Tower, Topkapi Palace, Hagia Irene, Istanbul Archaeological Museum, and more. The pass will save you money and time because you won't have to buy individual tickets or wait in long lines. Tip number 5. Take public transportation or walk. Istanbul has a very efficient and cheap public transportation system that includes buses, trams, metro, ferries, funiculars, and cable cars. You can use them all with one card called Istanbul Card that you can buy and top up at any kiosk or station. Public transportation is not only convenient but also a great way to see different parts of the city and experience the local life. Alternatively, you can also walk around Istanbul because it's a very walkable city with lots of pedestrian streets and scenic routes. Tip number 6. Try the street food. One of the best things about Istanbul is the food. You can find delicious and diverse dishes from Turkish cuisine and other cultures in restaurants and cafes all over the city. But don't miss out on the street food either because it's cheap, fresh, and tasty. Some of the street food you have to try are simit sesame bread rings, balık ekmek fish sandwich, kumpir baked potato with toppings, kokoreç grilled lamb intestines, durum wrap with meat and salad, börek pastry with cheese or meat, baklava sweet pastry with nuts and syrup, and Turkish ice cream. Tip number 7. Respect the mosque etiquette. Istanbul has hundreds of mosques that are not only places of worship but also architectural wonders. You can visit most of them for free as long as you respect some rules and etiquette. First of all, dress modestly by covering your shoulders, knees, and head if you're a woman. Second of all, take off your shoes before entering the mosque and put them in a plastic bag or leave them outside. Third of all, Be quiet and respectful inside the mosque and don't take photos during prayer times. Tip number 8. Beware of common scams. Istanbul is generally a safe city, but like any big city, it has some scammers and hustlers who try to take advantage of tourists. Some of the common scams you should watch out for are the shoe shine scam, where a guy drops his shoe brush in front of you and then asks you to pay for shining your shoes. The friendly local scam, where a guy approaches you and invites you to a bar or a club and then sticks you with a huge bill. The taxi scam, where a driver takes a longer route or switches the meter or the notes. And the carpet scam, where a salesman pressures you to buy an overpriced carpet or rug. To avoid these scams, be polite but firm. Don't accept any invitations from strangers. Use a reputable taxi company or an app like Uber or Buy Taxi. And don't buy anything you don't want or need. Tip number 9. Haggle at the markets. One of the most fun and exciting things to do in Istanbul is to visit the markets and bazaars. You can find all kinds of goods and souvenirs there, from spices to ceramics, from jewelry to carpets, from leather to textiles. But don't pay the first price you see or hear because it's usually inflated for tourists. You should always haggle at the markets and try to get a better deal. Haggling is part of the culture and the sellers expect it. The trick is to start low, be friendly but firm, walk away if you're not happy, and compare prices at different stalls. Tip number 10. Learn some Turkish words and phrases. Istanbul is a very tourist-friendly city and most people in the service industry speak English or other languages. However, it's always nice and appreciated to learn some basic Turkish words and phrases before visiting Istanbul. It will help you communicate better with the locals, show respect for their culture, and maybe even get some discounts or favors. Some of the Turkish words and phrases you should learn are merhaba hello, teşekkür ederim thank you, lütfen please, evet yes, hayır no, ne kadar how much, afiyet olsun bon appetit, günaydın good morning, iyi akşamlar good evening, hoşça kal goodbye, and ben İngilizce konuşuyorum I speak English. And that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more travel videos. Also, let me know in the comments if you have any questions or tips about Istanbul that I didn't mention. In addition, you can make your flight and hotel reservations with 10% discount by using the promo code in the description section via the link I left below. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.